Hello, we're here at Shoe Healer in Doncaster, and we've had a question about sizing on your Tricker boots, and it's so difficult to get this right. Um, I mean, of course, the best thing is to go into a store, try them on if you can, and what size fits you one day might be slightly out the other day if it's later in the day, earlier in the day, because your feet change. I'm really lucky. My feet, they seem to fill up or shrink to any shoe I put on, which is, within a little bit of the size range that fits me. And when I say they shrink, they do. They do. I can put a shoe on in the morning and I think, Jesus, that's really, really tight. After I've had it on half an hour, my feet have shaped up lovely to the shoe, and I'm away. But maybe I'm lucky. Anyway, as a sort of rough guide, here's the Brannock device. And if we all use the Brannock device, we should be able to get some sort of idea of where we are. The thing with the Brannock device, it will measure your width, it will measure the length of your foot, it will measure the length of your instep. But what it won't do, of course, is measure over the top of your foot. That's the bit that's very difficult. It's all right saying this is the width of my foot, or this is what we gain, but we don't know the volume over the top of your foot, and that's what these machines miss out on. To get the volume right, probably, and I say probably because I'm no expert on this, probably what we should be doing is using a tape measure like this, and a tailor's tape, and just going over the top and seeing how high, how wide your foot actually is, going over the top as well. Anyway, start off with, what size am I? I think I'm a 9, and I think I'm quite a slender 9, but maybe as I'm getting older, my foot is getting a little bit wider. So if I take the Brannock device, right heel in the back there, look, we've scribbled on this, plenty of scribble marks on there, just to show you 8, 9, 10, 11, where they come in at that measurement, because this Brannock device, this calibrates in centimeters and millimeters. So I am size 9. So size 9 should have me coming in on here at 275 millimeters. So back here a little bit, that's it. So I'm just finding that little lump there, and I slide that up to there and snug my foot over to the joint of my big toe, and then I bring this in at the side there, and that should give me 10 centimeters from that side of my foot to that side of my foot. I'm pressing on there nicely, and I'm coming to 270, just shy of 275. So I'm over. If we look down here, look closely. Can you come down a little bit? Yeah. If we look, 8 is there, 8.5 is there, 270 millimeters. I'm just over the 8.5. Right. So now we're on to the right heel into there like that. Right heel into the back of there, and then we just find where that bone is there, where your big toe connects, where that ball joint is there. Put that snug into there, bring that across nice and snug. 10 centimeters I've measured across here. So across that section there, I'm getting to 10. We just see the 10 mark down there. Now there's a load of markings on here, and we'll work that out in a minute. But at the moment, we're at 10. And I stand upright. This is my bigger foot. And I come in there, size 9, 275 millimeters.
So just over a D width on that then?
Just over a D width. Well, I consider my foot is...
This is US?
Yes. DUS. I consider my foot is a pretty much a standard F. If anything, it might be super slightly narrow. Okay, so on this chart that we've got here, if we look at the bottom, foot length, 275 millimeters. Yep, 275 millimeters. And we go up, we've got me in a 9.5 in most sizes, and then we've got me down here in a 9 for the double four lasts. So the Borton, the Henry, the Ilkley, the Keswick, anything on the double four last, which is coming down half a size. Now, what I've actually tried on here is when I put the Tricker's Stow on, which is on the 4497S last, which Trickers say is relatively true to size. I put my foot in the size 9, and it's here. Look, it's here. The boot is here. It's in our sale. The size 9 black Stow 4497S last, standard last. I put my foot in there as a size 9, which is a what am I feeling there straight away? Well, that's just lovely, absolutely lovely for me. Just where I should be, exactly where I should be. That feels just nice. Now, what I can do is I can go then to the 8.5 and put my foot in the 8.5 and just try that there. Oh, put my foot in there and yeah, oh, lovely, lovely, lovely. 8.5. Right, what I'm feeling now with my not so wide foot is a little bit of tightness across there. The length is ever so slightly tight on the length. My big toe is there, just where that starts to dip down. So that's important. Where it starts to dip down, my toe is just there. And if I had to, I could probably walk this in. But the 8.5 is a little bit tight. The 9 feels beautiful. And it's good that we have them both in. And this is me. You've got to just remember, this is my foot, which is, we think, is F-fitting, just a Nat's noodly on the narrow side of an F. Width-wise, beautiful. Length, beautiful. And my foot is measuring 10 centimetres across the width. Very difficult to work out with this Brannock device because it gives you it in American sizes. But I've measured it and I've got 10 centimetres across there and I've got 275 in the length. Now, what that doesn't give you is if you've got more height in your foot. We're not measuring any of that. So that's where things get a little bit awkward. Now, just as a quick way of going about this, I've got a shoebox here. And I put my foot in the shoebox and I put my foot down there and I just put my foot to the back of the shoebox. And I make sure that at the back of here, my foot isn't pushing against the back. It's just touching the back of the shoebox. And then I just put a little mark with my pen there, like that. And then I've got my foot, this joint, just touching the side of the shoebox, and then I measure across there like that and put a little mark. Okay, so I've now got 2 marks inside that box. When we take our tape down here and we find the end of it, look, so you can see my 2 marks, mark there for my toes, mark there for my width. So let's measure that down there into there. 275 millimeters. Oh, look at that right up to there. 275. Just there. That's 280. There's my mark. There's my mark on there. 275. So I presume that's 270. 275 is just there like that. Okay. So, and across the width. Let's just do the width. Across the width, we have got from the side of the box 10 centimeters, 100 millimeters across the width. Okay, so that gives you a little bit of an idea using a shoebox to measure your foot, and it does work out quite well. The other thing is that a gentleman's asking, should I be in the size 8 or should I be and bed it in? The 8 is snug, the 8.5 feels good. It's very difficult. What feels snug to you, what you know you're going to walk in. Now, yes, you are going to walk some width into a shoe. There's no doubt about that, that shoe will relax a little bit and you'll walk width into a shoe. You won't walk length into a shoe. If your toe is tight on the end or touching the end, it's going to be a problem for you. I'm sure it is. You know, unless like me, you've got tough feet and they just seem to relax into whatever shoe I seem to put them in. So we've tried the size 9 on the Tricker. This size 9 on this brand new Stow, and it felt lovely. Little bit snug, but lovely. I could just spend a full day around London in those, straight from the off, brand new. They wouldn't give me any problems. When I go to compare that to my old Stows, look at these old beauties here, look. Size 9, fitting 5, okay. And I put this on here. I should be using that shoe on. Let's have a look, just to get that back edge from creasing up. Oh, God, that's beautiful. Oh, yeah. Look, I've walked some width into these across here. I couldn't possibly walk length in, but across here and here, I've walked some width in. I don't know why I don't wear these more often. Polish them up. I could wear them every day. Could walk to the North Pole in these. They're fantastic. I hope that helps a little bit. This is on the Tricker Stow 4497S. I do hate saying about these last numbers and everything, but if you're getting into your shoes, it's important that you know about them. This is the Stow 4479S. If I go now into the double fours, 4444, Trickers will tell me that that is half a size bigger, and in my case that works absolutely fine. A little bit here, look, let's just quickly do this. This is where we can see if we could measure around. I could do with an assistant here to measure around my foot. So if we put that there and we try and find that, get those, if I put fresh socks on, if I don't know, not fresh socks, but new socks on. Look at that. So around there, 245 around that part of my foot. Is that the widest part? It is just about 250. Let's say 250 around the widest part of my foot. Just to give you an idea, if you measure around the widest part of your foot, you'll give you some idea if you're F or G fitting, and you've got to take that into consideration with the shoe. But like I say, you will walk width into a shoe, but you won't walk length into a shoe.